Now you know better too. Hello and welcome back to 10 News. I'm Jimmy Dean.
And I'm Walter Jennings.
We come to you today reporting a more glum story.
That's right, Jimmy. As most of us already know, Aboriginals and Indigenous people back in the 19th century were treated very poorly.
True, and that is why Canada's Prime Minister. True, and that's why we're here today. As Canada's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau is about to apologize for all the people who had to go through the residential school system.
We have already heard Stephen Harper speak about this topic, so I'm interested to hear what Justin has to say.
As we already know, this is the first time that kids in the school systems all over the country have learned about these residential schools. So this is a big step in the right direction in terms of educating people around these Aboriginals.
Trudeau will speak for all people of Canada today to apologize for all the wrong and suffering the old Canadian government put these kids through.
Trudeau, hopefully after this speech, Canadians all over the country will appreciate the tough times Aboriginal people had to go through.
And here we go, live to Trudeau apologizing for these residential schools.
Oh. Let's go. Wow. You can really see the emotion in Trudeau's eyes. Also, the true forgiveness on the Native and Aboriginal side. Wow, that was really bad. Wow. You can really see the emotion in Trudeau's eyes. Also, the forgiveness and relief the Natives have after all of that.
We're also starting to see a lot more improvement from the government's. We're also starting to see a lot more improvement from the government in terms of caring.
I'm so sorry. Just turn it off for a second.
We're also starting to see a lot more improvement from the government in terms of caring and trying to help those natives who were affected greatly by the residential schools.
We have been seeing things like this. Countless apologies. Also things like spending approximately $1.7 billion supporting and building the capacity of First Nations government, as well as negotiating and implementing land claims and modern-day treaties.
As you just said, the Canadian government just spent a lot of money towards giving the First Nation their own government, the same type of government that Louis Riel fought to obtain.
I completely agree with you, Walter. This is a step in the right direction, but there are a couple of areas that the Canadian government needs to improve on. That's all the time. I should have timed. I completely agree with you, Walter. This is a step in the right direction, but there are still a couple of areas that the Canadian government needs to improve on. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have up for today, and so thank you. God, I completely agree with you, Walter. This is a step in the right direction, but there are a couple of things that the Canadian government needs to fix in this area. Unfortunately, that's all the time we're going to have today. So, from Walter Jennings and Jimmy Dean, thank you. Have a good night. So I think that's good.
Yeah.
So I just need you to